Dear landlord, please don't dismiss my case. I'm not about to argue, I'm not about to move to no other place.
I'm Marcella Jane. I live at Lyman Terrace. I've lived there for 4 years. The Holyoke Housing Authority is moving to demolish all of the housing and sell the land to private investors. We've lost hundreds of housing units in Hampton County due to the tornado, foreclosures, fires, and yet they think they'll be able to rehouse people. They have no proof that they'll be able to. And what's going to happen to the land is it'll be used as a tool for gentrification. So we're standing here to oppose that today.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No more people in the street. No justice, no peace. No more people in the street. No justice, no peace. No more people in the street. No justice, no peace. No more people in the street. No justice, no peace. No more people in the street. No justice, no peace. No more people on the street.
As the Housing Authority had an opportunity to study the impact of eliminating, 400 to 500 residents from the downtown, and have they had a chance yet to study the city's master plan, which is for moving and trying to help increase the population of the downtown, not decrease the population? So have they had a chance to study that yet, and what would be the impact on local businesses, the community generally, to move out 400 to 500 residents of the downtown?
I'm not sure if you're ready to answer a question like that.
Well, I assume that they put in the demolition that, they've studied the impact of that decision already. So I don't know, has that been studied yet?
The financial impact of the, well, to be quite honest with you, there is obviously no intention of leaving the Lyman Terrace site vacant. We are yet to determine how many units are going to be placed back on site. So to undertake that particular exercise currently would be futile, because we don't know if we're going to put 100 units back on site, 60, 80. That process will be undertaken at the appropriate time.
The RFP that's being presented, that has gone out, it's listed in the RFP that has to be in collaboration with the city and their downtown plan. It's also, if I'm not mistaken, requesting that it be residential again, with 22 units of affordable housing minimum or 20%.
This would have been nice before the demolition. I just found out about this third hand from one of my colleagues that you had even put in this application. And as being a city councilor for 18 years, it would have been nice to know about this this whole thing that had transpired. And I find out about a third hand, had to rush out. I'm glad to hear you've pulled back the request for demolition so far. But this would be somewhat unique, that we don't know quite what we're going to do with the property at the time that we're requesting the demolition. My concern is that I would like to know, and I think everybody would like to know, what's going to be the ultimate future of this location because of the huge impact on the downtown that this is going to have. It's 167 units, talking 400, possibly 500 people that are impacted directly, besides obviously the downtown totally. But
once you demolish Lyman Terrace and you rely more on private developers, you are not going to have that much power and authority in making the decisions of who resides in those complexes once it's redeveloped again. No matter how you want to put that, no matter how many surveys you put into place, no matter how sensitive you are to this community, even though it's only a community of 500 people, and it doesn't meet the human environmental impact of HUD of 2,500 people, you're not going to have the ability to dictate who is going to be in this 80%, 20% markup? No matter how much you want to do that, no matter how much you want to sugarcoat that.
One of the issues I found that the OCD's environmental review put forth by the Holyoke Housing Authority for demolition was crime. And I thought demolition of a building was a very novel approach to solve crime, to say the least. There is a crime problem at Lyman Terrace, and you know, one of the problems with it is the police, and that tenants are not being responded to when they call the police. Some of you will remember the murder on Father's Day in 2009. Before that murder happened, which was directly in front of my house, which my daughter saw, I called the police weekly, and I was put through to voicemail to leave a message. Some of our tenants have called the police, and the dispatchers have told them, sorry, we don't speak Spanish, and hung up on them. So I think we need to talk about all the reasons why the Holyoke Housing Authority is moving to demolish. That's one of the reasons that they cited in the environmental review at the OCD was crime. Okay, if we follow that logic, you know, loud parties, drug trafficking, if we follow the logic that the way to solve that is to tear the building down, I'm sorry, all of the dorms in UMass Amherst ought to be torn down. Okay? When Puerto Rican people have a loud party, when they sell drugs, it's treated like it's pathological. When white people do it, you're just sowing your wild oats. So when I saw crime in the environmental review, and I remembered all the times I had called the police and I was ignored, and all the horrible things my kids had to witness, all I could think is that this is racist. And that's an element of it. Because the crime problem, the guy who got murdered in front of my house was selling drugs there, who I called the police several times about, didn't live in my projects.
All nice. Lyman Terrace was a beautiful place to raise kids. It had swings in the backs. At that time, we had the pool, Lyman Pool, right across the way. The streets were lined. The housing authority kept the maintenance up. The garbage was picked up. If a window was broken, it was repaired right away. That's not the story anymore. None of those tenants that were displaced from Jackson Parkway were able to go back to Jackson Parkway. Can you say the same thing for Lyman Terrace? I mean, you're promising, yeah, that the tenants will be able to go back to Lyman Terrace. In actuality, will they? I doubt that. But my thing is, if you don't have an apartment for one person, or those people that are right now still homeless and in hotels, are you really expect all of us to believe that you have 167 apartments to rehouse everyone? That is a farce. I'm sorry.